These are the 4 potential threats you might encounter when living off-grid. Hey there, this is Matthew. I'm the sales director here at Discount Lots. And if you don't know about Discount Lots, you definitely want to find out about us. We make the land buying experience simple, easy, and affordable. Everybody can buy land with us. There's no credit, background, or any income checks. And all you need is as little as $301 to purchase pretty much any one of the properties on our site. So head out to Discount Lots. We have plenty of land on our site. We have off-grid land, we have residential land, farming land, a whole plethora of land out there. So head out there, check us out. So a lot of you out here are probably watching this video because you are considering living off grid, but you don't know what the actual threats of doing so are. So in this video, I'm gonna explain some of those threats. If you feel like you have some other threats that I didn't mention, make sure you leave some comments below. We'll definitely read them. Maybe we can interact a little bit. So off-grid living usually means that you are super far away from civilization. So living off-grid has its pros, right? That you're super far from people. There's nobody that's going to bother you. You usually have 0 restrictions out there, so you can do whatever you want. But there are risks when being so far from other people. Now, there's a couple situations out there that we're going to outline, and these are pretty serious situations that can prove to be a struggle for a lot of people that are trying to be living off grid, and some of these things are even fatal if you're not prepared. So that's the purpose of today's video, is just to really outline some of the potential threats out there. We got 4 of them out here for you so that we can help educate a little bit and maybe prepare you a little bit better for living off grid. We want to make sure everybody's out there is safe. So the first one is going to be the actual location of the land. Whether your off-grid is in a forest, in a desert, in the mountains, wherever it is, the nature itself is an actual risk. Usually off-grid living comes with, certain weather conditions that make it a little bit difficult, and that's why it's kind of off-grid. These things usually are like floodings, snowstorms, sandstorms. There's a whole bunch of different things out there that can be a risk for you and your home. That's why when you live off grid, the first thing you need to do is plan accordingly to where you're gonna settle your home in. For example, if you buy land and you live in the forest, right? I know a lot of people think this is awesome. There's a lot of trees, a lot of natural wood that you can use, to build your home, but you have to be really smart about it. I know that part of living in the forest, one of the things that people love is the privacy, but you wanna make sure that you don't have too many trees right next to you. Why? Because there are natural disasters like rain or snow or anything, and some of these trees might come down if it's flooding or whatever it is. They might come down and destroy your home while you're in or out of it. Hopefully while you're out of it. If you're living in the desert, what natural disasters you have? A lot of the desert natural disasters is just sandstorms, and for some people they think it's not a huge deal, but these things are actually pretty dangerous and pretty crazy. You can get lost out there. You can be out of nowhere and not know where you are. It can actually tear your home down. So you want to make sure whatever you're using to construct your home is not susceptible to sandstorms or anything like that. And of course, living in the mountains or anything like that, you kind of have the idea of landslides. Living in a snowy mountain, obviously snow itself is just difficult, but avalanches are a big thing and it's a real thing. So you don't want to put yourself in a zone where landslides or avalanches happen often and snow is just constantly coming down. So that's why we say the location of the land itself is a pretty big threat to living off grid. So number 2 is going to be local wildlife. So living off grid, some of the things that people do it for is so that they can be one with nature and stuff like that, and they can grow their own food and get all those things that they want to do that society can't provide you. But that usually means that there's wildlife out there doing the same thing that you're trying to do. Usually this wildlife is going to be like boars, bears, wolves. There's just a whole bunch of other animals out there that are an actual threat to you when you are living off grid. So be careful out there. And you might be saying like, oh, I'm a human and why would they attack us? And remember, if you are coming into their territory, it's not going to be so simple as, oh, I'll just build things and they won't come near me. No, it's not like that at all. You are moving into their land. They're not going to just let you take the plants and stuff like that. They're not going to let you just do whatever you want. Also, when you start, growing your own food or storing your own food, you're going to attract all these animals. Even if you're not in their territory, you're getting other animals from other territories and surrounding areas to come to you. So you want to be prepared for things like this because it's an actual threat. The wildlife out there is no game. So number 3 is going to be the climate. It can be very high climate is super dangerous, very low climate is super dangerous. The two opposite ends are super crazy dangerous. You can die of a heat stroke, or you can die of being super cold, hypothermia, freezing to death. There's just a bunch of different things in both of these that you don't want to be in. And then usually when you live off grid, there is always going to be one sort of extreme that's going to impact you every single year. And remember, you don't have clear roads. You don't have people in the area to help out. There's just a lot of things that you're not going to have to help you. You're going to do it on your own. And climate is so real and it can be so dangerous out there. People never prepare for it, thoroughly enough. And that's why it's on this list. And threat number 4, when it comes to living off grid, is going to be natural disasters. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, living off grid usually means that you are very far away from civilization. It usually means about an hour minimum is how far you are. 30 minutes is like the least minimum, but if you are really living off grid and you have big land, you're probably going to be about an hour away from anybody. So if a natural disaster happens, you are so far from getting help. A fire rescue, police, hospitals, you name it, whatever it is, just as far as you are from them, they are from you. Just as far as you are from any of those dangers you're trying to get away from, you're just as far from anything that can help save you as well. And a lot of people think like, well, when I was living in the city, I did it on my own anyways. Well, no, that's not true either, because if you were ever in a hurricane, that the people that got the power on for you, that's the city. Keeping the roads clear, the people that did for you was the city. Making sure that everybody got flu shots, or these are all reminders from the city. Just anything, providing medicine and food during these emergencies, that's all from the city. So you're not going to have any help out there. So make sure that you are super aware that you need to stock up and have all these extra supplies for yourself, because there's nobody else to help you out there. Make sure that you are educated enough so if you do have an emergency, you can handle basic needs and give yourself a fighting chance to survive. So I know I could have, scared a lot of you guys about living off grid and stuff like that, but just note that the reason for this video and the reason why we make you aware of it is because you can avoid a lot of these threats just by being educated and just by preparing for them. If you prepare accordingly, a lot of these threats, they dwindle down, and it's just not as huge as if you didn't know about it to begin with, okay? Make sure you have the right home for wherever you're living. Make sure that you have the right food and shelter for wherever you're living. Make sure that you have an emergency kit when you're out there. So if anything happens, you can, survive an extra day, 2, or whatever it is. Make sure that you know how to keep yourself safe from any intruders, being human or animals out in the wildlife. And then lastly, make sure you have all the right tools and equipment to help you out there. So make sure you just prepare yourself accordingly. That way, if anything does happen, you're pretty much safe, or you have a fighting chance. The more you prepare, the better you are off. Make sure you over prepare, because that's just going to be better for you in the long run. It's better to be safe than sorry. That's it for today's video. If you liked what you saw, make sure you smash on that like button. We have a whole lot more videos like this coming up, so subscribe to the page, click on that bell notification so you know whenever we have more videos like this coming up. If you have any questions or comments, you just want to chat with us, make sure you leave them below. We try to get back to as many of them as we can. And if you want to learn more about discount lots, if you're interested in buying land, check out discountlots.com. Like I said it earlier, all you need is $301 to purchase land with us. No credit, background, or any income check. We have land in over 12 different states, over 500 properties in over 50 different counties. We're the place to go when it comes to buying land. Nobody out there makes it any easier than us. I'll catch you guys on the next video. See you later.